What are stakes? And I mean in terms of film, not a beef steak, obviously. Well, I tell you what, when I was younger, I was told when I was writing my epic science fiction film that was literally impossible to film, don't forget to raise the stakes. Now, I had no idea what that meant. So I'm going to take a look at Squid Game today, and specifically the first episode, to see how Squid Game has mastered the art of raising the stakes. Because if it didn't do this, well, I tell you what, no one would have watched it. Welcome back to Director's Toolbox, and my name is Rob Macfarlane and I'm a director just like you. Twice a week I reveal the tools and techniques the directors have used to make the best film and TV in the world. Raising the stakes can be broken into two core sections: physical stakes and psychological stakes. They each have a weight to the way in which your character is motivated to do things. So as the characters walk onto the stage of their first game, I'm just going to pause it here for a moment and reel it back a little bit. These characters have walked onto the stage, willing to play this game, not knowing what they're really putting on the line. And this is where we have a psychological stake. Each character knows that there is money to be won. Each character we know also is in financial dire straits. So, by not allowing the characters to know the exact amount of money that they might win, they are now tempted, much like the audience are, to continue play and find out what they might have put at risk or might have walked away from had they not done it. This is obviously a very popular tool that many filmmakers use with their audience. By withholding certain information, you entice the audience to want to know the answer. In this case, you're actually taking the audience and putting them in the same shoes as the characters that are playing the game. We don't know, and the characters don't know, which adds an added sense of mystery to the story. For you budding directors out there, don't forget to check the link here and down below for my Cinematic Language 101 course to help you master your cinematic language. So I'm going to assume most of you have watched Squid Game, or at least the first episode of Squid Game. If you haven't, spoilers ahead. So the characters are in this space. They are pretty confused about what's about to happen, but they're all there because they want to find out what they could potentially win. Now, the first thing that happens in this space, before they know anything, the doors that they just entered through close shut, locking behind them. This adds an immediate physical stake. It raises the tension level in the space because now they cannot go back from where they came. The stake is now put in the ground. All of these people are trapped. We get the reinforcement of this stake when we realize that there are walls all around them and they are completely unclimbable. In front of all the players is a 12-foot tall doll. This doll has been designed to be as creepy as hell, and there are two guards on either side of the doll. This immediately creates a psychological stake, raising the tension.
저 뭐냐? 존나 이상하게 생겼네.
We then get a tannoy giving us our next psychological stake.
술래가 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다를 외치는 동안 전진할 수 있으며 이후에 움직임이 감지되면 탈락입니다.
The director now needs to reveal to us and the players the real stakes the players have put up in the hope of winning an ambiguous amount of money. So after a gruesome mass killing of over half the players, the remaining players now understand the real stakes at play: their lives or the money. As we see here, the psychological effects of this entire situation have completely paralyzed our protagonist. This raises the stakes yet again because our character, our protagonist that we care about, we spent half an hour learning about them, learning to really care about their journey, is whittling away the time that they have to complete the game. And it's only because his childhood friend tells him to get up and get moving that he actually comes to his senses and gets to move. But this puts him at a disadvantage, raising the stakes. He has wasted time, giving him less time to make the journey. The clock is literally right in front of him, showing him that he literally only has a certain amount of time to get up and move, otherwise that is it. For those of you who are wondering how to add extra tension to your scenes, time is literally one of the best tools, one of the most anxiety-rich tools that you can add to any film. Think about how many times you've seen a bomb with a timer on it, every family late for a flight, every kidnapper counting to 3.
1, 2, 3, go!
As gunshots continue to ring out across this game, we're continually reminded of the threat of death if you don't get the rules right. This battle between death and traversing this space in time is so well shown. But now the audience understand the game. They understand if our protagonist just adheres to the rules, he will make it. So how do we raise the stakes again? Our character's running across the field and all of a sudden he stops, realizing that his foot has been grabbed by someone who's shot but not dead. They've been eliminated from the game, but they don't want to die. This adds both a physical and a moral risk. Does he help this dying man on the floor, or does he save himself and get to the end of the game? Ultimately, he realizes that there is no way of helping this character and surviving himself, and so he leaves him behind. The drama is raised to the maximum already. We are on the edge of our seats, but the director, the filmmakers, they know that they need to add one last big risk. This has got to be the biggest, most dangerous risk to help raise the stakes for the entire sequence, to put us right on the edge of our seats. What if our character trips? This moment is so tense. We know if our character had landed on the floor, they would have been eliminated, being shot, and ultimately meaning that we would have no more protagonist for the show. So they had another character grab him mid-air. This is really nice because it puts two characters at risk at the same time. It also shows us the moral fortitude of that other character, that they were willing to risk themselves to save our protagonist. They are so close to the end of the game, and this trip happens, and they are waiting and waiting for the doll to turn back around, giving them the opportunity to get to the finish line. They have mere seconds to go, again raising the stakes even further because we know they've only got 3 seconds to get to the finish line. Will they possibly make it?